The Premier League is back for yet another week. We are nearing the end of the season. So this season, things will get kind of crazy towards the end of the season. So today though, we will cover the Game Week 34 matches. The standouts are Arsenal versus Newcastle and Brighton versus Chelsea. So hopefully you enjoyed the video and please do drop a like. Now let's start off with Brighton versus Chelsea. This game should be quite tight if we're being honest. So let's get started with Brighton. They've been doing pretty well this season. They have been performing well recently, which is good. They've been playing some very solid football. At the same time, they had a few rough spells before this good spell. But Matoma, he's just such a key player for this team. Welbeck, you have him bagging goals. I believe he has 10 plus goals this season for Brighton. But I do rate Minte as a player as well. He's a fantastic winger. And then on to Chelsea. They have been doing alright this season. As of recent, it has been dark for them. Form has been down in the dumps. I won't lie. They lost to both Manchester City and Everton by a scoreline of 3-0. The second half in that City game, they got fully dominated. Palmer has been so poor for Chelsea ever since his injury. It's just been so sad to see. But yeah, my prediction for this match, it's gonna be a 2-2 draw between the two. Moving on to Burnley versus Man City. Let's be honest, this game is going only one way. So let's get started with Burnley. They've been doing not good at all this season. They're basically confirmed relegated at this point. Their form has been quite rough for quite a few weeks as well. They have been lacking on both ends of the pitch, both offensively and defensively. They have conceded the most Premier League goals as well, with 63 goals conceded. That's absolute madness. But maybe they could show some fight in this match. But if we're being honest, I doubt it. But on to Man City, they've been doing fairly well. Recently, they have been getting better and better. Usually, when it's nearing the end of the season, they really do turn up. As I mentioned before, they played Chelsea and they smoked them 3-0. Nico O'Reilly has that KDB clutch gene. Ever since KDB left, you have Nico O'Reilly coming back in the team. And this guy has been so clutch. I believe he has 5 goals in the last 8 matches. But he might be out for this match as well because he got injured in the last match I think against Chelsea. But yeah, we have not seen much of Haaland though this year, which is, it's wild. This guy hasn't scored too many goals in 2026. So maybe we could see him turn up in the run-in phase of this season, but we'll figure it out. But my prediction is going to be a 4-0 win for Man City. Moving on to Bournemouth versus Leeds United. This game I see being a very good battle. So let's get started with Bournemouth. They've been doing decent this season. I believe they're in some very good form as they are unbeaten in the last 11 matches based off of when I'm recording this. But players like Alex Scott and Junior Krupi have been doing very well. The last game, Bournemouth beat Arsenal 2-1. That had me absolutely fuming. I thought we had it choked. Arsenal really have to win the rest of their matches now. But just a disclaimer, I'm recording this before the game week. 33 matches are happening. But on to Leeds United. They've been doing not too bad this season. Form-wise, they've been getting pretty good results, I would say. Recently, they've been putting up some good performances. Like last game, they played Manchester United and they won 2-1. It was very unexpected, but Noah Okafor bagged 2 goals in that match to win the game for them. And the Lisandro Martinez red card put Leeds at an advantage as well. But once again, I do see Bournemouth giving them a game for sure. My prediction is going to be a 1-1 draw between the two. Moving on to Sunderland versus Nottingham Forest. This game could be quite good. So let's get started with Sunderland. They have been doing pretty decent this season. I think they've been a pretty underrated team, especially coming from the championship. I don't think we've seen a team do this well coming straight from the championship for quite a while. We have Xhaka, who's been such an important player in terms of the build-up in that team, in terms of the tackles, passing, everything. But they played Tottenham last game and they beat them 1-0. What a great result for them. They basically put Tottenham into the relegation zone. But yeah, I believe they have only lost 2 games at the Stadium of Light. That is some stat. But on to Nottingham Forest, they've been doing not the best this season, sitting quite close to the relegation zone. As we speak, form-wise, they've been doing pretty well. I would say they need to turn up to stay in the Premier League. Like last game, they played Aston Villa and they drew 1-1. I think that was a pretty solid result for Forest to kind of keep them higher than West Ham. But my prediction is going to be a 2-1 win for Nottingham Forest. Now moving on to Fulham versus Aston Villa. This game's going to be a very, very good game. So let's get started with Fulham. They've been doing not too bad this season. Their form has been a little bit on and off. As of recent, this team has some very underrated players. You have Wilson in there, you have Iwobi, Robinson in there. I think that's the left back's name. But their last game, they played Liverpool and they lost 2-0. Both teams had loads of chances, just Fulham could not put their chances away. On to Aston Villa. They've been doing pretty good this season, looking likely to have Champions League football again next season. As we speak, they're joint 55 points with Manchester United, so joint 3rd and 4th place, which it's getting pretty tight up in the top 4. But their form has been a little bit shaky the past few games, but the last game they played Nottingham Forest and they drew 1-1. Morgan Rogers, he needs to turn up when his club needs him in these next few matches, even though he is a young player. But my prediction is going to be a 3-1 win for Aston Villa. Now moving on to West Ham versus Everton. This game I could see being quite tight. So let's get started with West Ham. They've been doing not the best this season. I mean, West Ham were in the relegation zone, but they got out of it. Honestly, if we talk about their recent form, they have actually been pretty decent recently. Last game they played Wolves and they won it 4-0. That's a huge win. Espirito Santo, he just needed some time to save this team from relegation, and that's exactly what he did. Now on to Everton. They've been quite a solid team this season. They've been performing quite well throughout the whole season. I would consider them a very underrated team. We have to give credit to what Moyes has done here at the club. He's taken them from around like mid-table or 13th 14th place all the way up to contending for a European spot, which is wild. Fair play. But they played Brentford and they drew 1-1. Beto scoring once again in that game. I think the standout player whenever you watch Everton, it has to be Iliman Ndiaye. He just keeps on being so crucial for the team, creating chances, scoring goals, getting assists. Surely he gets a big move recently, but my prediction is going to be a 2-1 win for Everton. Moving on to Wolves versus Tottenham. Now, I'm not even lying, this could be tight. Let's get started with Wolves. They have not been the best this season, sitting all the way in dead last, which is unfortunate because they have been performing well in recent times. It's really too late for them to turn it around, which is unfortunate once again. The last game they played West Ham, and I mean they lost 4-0. West Ham were definitely the better team on that day. I think in my previous predictions in the Gameweek 32, I had it being like a draw or Wolves winning, but once again, I was wrong on that part. But on to Tottenham. They have had one of the worst seasons in recent times for the club. I mean, their form recently has been quite bad as well. This team is well and truly crumbling. It's absolutely wild. Like last game they played Sunderland and they lost 1-0 at the Stadium of Light, and that was De Zerbi's first game in charge. We'll see how much he could change, how much can he change the results in the next remaining matches. We have like 6 games remaining or 5 remaining. The season is closing off very soon, but my prediction is going to be a 1-1 draw between the two. Moving on to Liverpool versus Crystal Palace. Now this game could be quite a good one, so let's get started with Liverpool. They've been doing not too bad this season, to be fair, for their standards, and coming off as Prem champions last season, I would say it's pretty bad. Now this season overall has been a little bit on and off for them. Form wise, it's been on and off as well. Last game they played Fulham, and I mean they beat them 2-0, which is a good result. Rio Ngumoha looks absolutely incredible. Surely he starts over Cody Gakpo. There's no way Gakpo starts over him in these remaining matches. But even more bad news for Liverpool. Ekitike is out for the season with the injury, and he's out for the World Cup as well. He got this injury through playing versus PSG, which is very unfortunate. Now onto Crystal Palace. They've been doing quite alright this season. Not the best compared to last season though. They've been doing quite well like recently. Like last game they played Newcastle and they beat them 2-1. Mateta is back and he is firing goals once again. Mateta is such a crucial player in the front line for them. I swear nearly every single time he starts, he bags a goal. This team is just great when they have their best players available, but when they don't, they kind of struggle. But my prediction is going to be a 2-1 win for Liverpool. Moving on to Arsenal versus Newcastle. This game should be a very good one. It gives me flashbacks to when we lost to Newcastle and we lost the league a few years ago. Please, Arsenal, do not do this again, man. But yeah, let's get started with Arsenal. They've been doing pretty well this season. They are considered one of the best teams in the league for sure, if not the best in terms of results. But if you look at how we play, how our Arsenal play, yeah, a lot of people don't rate it, but it's getting us results and that's all that matters for us. But form-wise, they have not been exactly the best recently. Like last game, Arsenal played Bournemouth and they lost 2-1. It was a very painful game to watch. We got outplayed by Bournemouth in that match, and no urgency to go on to score and win the game as well. I mean, we just need to do better on the offensive side of things. Gyökeres is our top goal scorer with like 18 goals in all competitions, which is good. But the rest of our attackers are just non-existent, honestly. But onto Newcastle, they've been doing not the best this season. They've had a little bit of a drop-off compared to last season. Form recently has not exactly been the best as well. Last game they played Crystal Palace and they lost 2-1. Mateta scored a 94th minute penalty to just give that dagger in the hearts of Newcastle fans. Now Mateta, what a player, man. But Eddie Howe, potentially he could be in trouble for his job in the coming weeks. But yeah, my prediction for this game is going to be a 2-1 win for Arsenal. Now moving into the final game, Manchester United versus Brentford. This game is going to be a good one. So let's get started with Manchester United. They've been doing pretty well this season. Ever since Carrick came in, he's got them into the top 4, which is huge. They're on for Champions League football. Now recently their form has not been the best, honestly. Like last game they played Leeds United and they lost 2-1. It did not go well as Lisandro Martinez got a red card. You could say that didn't change the match, but they had one less player, which obviously changes the match. Casemiro scored. He's been such a good player for them this season, but I mean, Manchester United had the chances to score, especially late on. They had chances literally swept off the goal line, saved off the goal line in those last few seconds, last few minutes. It was unbelievable. But on to Brentford. They've been doing pretty decent this season. I would say probably one of the most underrated teams. They went from people thinking they're getting relegated at the start of the season to now sitting like top 7, and they could once again another team pushing for Europe. But yeah, huge credit to Keith Andrews. Has done so well with this team. Form wise, they've been doing pretty well recently. Last game they played Everton and they drew 2-2. Igor Thiago, I mean, what a striker. What's with Brentford and the strikers? They had Ivan Toney, they had Wissa scoring goals. Now they have Igor Thiago, who has bagged 21 goals in the Premier League this season. So he's pushing Haaland for that golden boot, which, I mean, no one expected this at the start of this season. But my prediction is going to be a 2-2 draw between the two. So thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you did enjoy the video. Don't forget to drop a like, comment down below your predictions. I will make sure to check them out, and don't forget to subscribe as well, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.